Welcome to the Val Factor podcast. We are Richard and Haley Mujika. Been married 12 years on this Sunday. We've got 4 kids and a growing business and just a busy life, but we love marriage and love each other, and we just want to share that with the world. So here we are.
That's right.
We get together once a week, have a little conversation that you could literally catch us having at our dining room table or in the car or in the podcast studio, wherever it happens. This is just husband and wife hanging out, talking.
That's right.
So before we get any further, I always get in trouble for not doing this. So I'm going to stop real fast and just say, if you could leave a comment or review on the podcast, share it with your friends, make sure you're following it, all of those fun things, all the businessy stuff. What am I forgetting? What do real podcasters say?
Help other people. That would get value.
What do real podcasters say?
Oh, I think that's great. Leave a review. That really helps. And then I think the ultimate thing would be, hey, if you enjoy it, share it with others, because more than likely they might enjoy it too.
Yeah.
And then if everybody shares it with everybody gets value.
Yes.
So I think you did a great job.
All right, cool. So that's out of the way. So today we're recording like 3 hours earlier than normal because for Mother's Day, Richard got us tickets to, or passes, I don't know what you call them.
Passes, tickets.
To this little like hot springs outdoor spa area by us. And so we're just going to go hang out in the mineral pools and sit outside and read a book in peace and quiet all day.
I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm so excited. I can't even tell you.
I don't know what to expect, but there's another place called Glen Ivy.
So
I'm expecting it to be something similar to that.
Possibly.
I don't know. We'll find out.
But we're doing that today. So we're getting our podcast done a little early. And this one should be a fun one because this one, typically we're a little bit more on like the philosophical side and we throw in some tactical things. This one's like 100% a tactical episode.
Really?
I think so. Well, I mean, you never know. We'll see where it goes. But that's where it is in my mind.
That's right.
So this one is quick marital wins. Things that'll take you less than 5 minutes, sometimes even less than 5 seconds, but can build up to make a big difference in your marriage. So, you know, life is life and it can get mundane and you've got responsibilities and things to do. And before you know it, you kind of look at your spouse and you're like, hey, we haven't talked in a while. You know, or like, you just kind of had those moments of disconnect.
You become roommates.
You become roommates. And so these are just kind of quick ways that you can reconnect with your spouse in a meaningful way. So Richard made a list. I made a list. We have not seen each other's list. I'm sure a lot of them will be very similar. But we're just going to kind of go through with some that we've come up with and talk about them.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
What you would find meaningful, ones that you're kind of like, I don't love that one.
Throw that one away.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't you start? Tell me a few of yours. What are your quick marital wins?
Well, I mean, I'm staring at it right here. And the one that is hitting me right between the eyes is long hugs.
Ooh.
I can't be. There was I don't know if you told me this or somebody told me this, but after 7 seconds of hugging, it releases, what is it? Serotonin or
endorphins,
oxytocin, all the good feel-good chemicals. And so, I just love every now and then. It's a quick win. You hug just a little bit longer than you normally would hug. And I don't know, something about it. After so many seconds, you just kind of get this different feel about it,
Yeah.
And it kind of just connects you a little bit longer.
Yeah. And I know you know this. I am a physical touch person. That's probably my predominant love language.
You didn't know this until a little while ago.
I didn't realize this till recently, but I am. Physical touch is probably my most dominant one. And so that's one of my favorite things. But it actually goes a little bit deeper than that. I have that on mine too. But for women, especially, we can kind of get I guess humans in general, but we can kind of get overstimulated with life and all the things we have to do and the kids are loud and whatever. Yeah. And it's kind of the same premise as a weighted blanket, but like a tight hug from your husband. He's a man and he's big and he's strong, and just like that tight hug can actually like regulate your nervous system. It's actually really, really
maybe that's what you said.
I'm sure both are true. Because it does definitely, like any type of physical intimate connection is going to release happy hormones. But
yes, yeah.
Especially if I do this, I'm sure you've noticed, but like if I'm feeling really overstimulated, I'll just go to you for a hug because it just helps me like, ooh.
Yeah, you're like, oh, strong hands.
Oh my!
And then I just feel super masculine. I'm like, well, tell me about my beard. How good does my beard look?
I tell you that all the time too. But there's something about your hands specifically, but manly hands on your back that's just like, oh.
Tell the audience.
Oh, it's so good.
Tell the audience.
It's so good.
Come on.
It's so good. Okay, so that was one. I had that one too somewhere. Okay, so tell me another one on your list.
Well, if you want to kick it up a notch, I also have long kisses.
Ooh, also good.
That's something that we're pretty good at.
Okay.
Every now and then. I think quick wins that you're kind of good at this, more so than me, but you do these silly things all the time. Like one that I have here written down is like you'll just run and you'll just jump and I have to like catch you, and partially why my back's out right now.
Stop.
Is there?
There's nothing to do with that.
I've been doing this back issues. But no, I mean that's a quick win. It's fun. It's light. It brings you back, and I think that's a really fun one.
Okay, can I just say you threw your back out being stupid butcher?
It didn't have to do with Haley. I'm sure she kind of kinked it here and there, and then I got the Lakers. But so that's another one on my list. Now I have multiple of these things that that you've done in the past. I remember a time, and again, then for example, I'll scare you.
Oh,
Just out of like nowhere, right? And you're like, oh, but then what's so cool about those moments is when I scare you and you jump, but you look straight at me. We get to kind of like have this little eye contact moment that is kind of cool in some weird way where you kind of connect in that that weird eye contact moment. But you'll do things where I remember I was going to the kitchen and I forget I was getting like a drink of water, and the whole time
about the kitchen cabinet.
Yes.
Okay. No. So we have a kitchen cabinet above our refrigerator.
Above the fridge. This is high. It's not low. I mean, you have to really try to get into this thing.
And so I took everything out and I climbed it.
You climbed inside of it?
I climbed inside the cabinet and I told one of our kids to tell Dad you need a glass of milk because I wanted to come to the fridge.
I need a glass of milk.
Okay. And then what happened?
Well, yeah. I mean, now the audience knows. So I'm going to get the glass of milk. And the whole time I'm wondering, where the heck's Haley? Like, the kids usually ask Haley to get a glass of milk. Where's she at? So I go to open the fridge. All of a sudden, you pop out of the freaking cabinet and you pull one of those confetti cannon right in my and I don't get scared. You try to scare me all the time, and you're like, you get so frustrated because you can never scare me. But that time, you got me.
That was one of my favorite memories.
And I don't even know how you fit in that thing. It was a tiny little cabinet. I mean, dude, not that big. Okay, imagine me in that thing. Come on.
I was committed.
You were committed.
I was committed.
That was one of your best moves of all time.
That was a good one.
But you look little things like that. I mean, you watch these influencers online, and I'll get home, and you're like, let's try this influencer thing, or I'll just be in my office.
The best one, if you guys don't follow them, is Fullm House, FULLM House on Instagram. It's a husband and wife, and they've got a bunch of kids, but they're so funny and they do all these silly things, but especially the husband has this laugh that just like, you can't help but
his laugh is too much.
And so sometimes I'll just scroll through there and find something funny to do. And I'll be like, okay, babe, we're going to try this.
The latest one was we were sitting on the floor and I had to interlock my legs with your legs, or like we had to like do this weird thing on the floor. You don't remember this?
No.
We just did this like 5 days ago?
The last one I remember was when you had the cup on your head and I had to throw the shoe.
No, this one's after that. This is what you told me to get on the floor. We had to interlock legs and hands, and then we had to do this funky thing. And it was just funky. I was like, what the heck is this?
Vaguely remember.
Do you remember this?
Vaguely. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was not that long ago.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Okay.
So I
mean, Fullm House, if you want some fun ideas to try with your husband.
Yeah, I mean, these are just fun, silly ones that kind of just bring us back and we have some fun with, and we get to connect over.
Okay, I have one.
Yeah.
And this is a quick, less than 5-second one.
Yeah.
But you do this thing where, and it's like at random times, it could be like when I'm mad at you, it could be whenever, but you wink at me. Oh, your little wink makes me giggle like a freaking schoolgirl. It like is so cute. And it's not even cute. It's like drop sexy to me, and it kills me. And I'm like, I'll tell him like, don't wink at me right now because I want to be mad, and it just, that little wink.
Oh, that's too funny. That's funny. I didn't know that. By the way, now that I have some ammunition on that.
Oh, you knew that.
I didn't know you liked it that much.
Oh, I like the wink. Do it.
Oh, shoot, I'm gonna do this. No, they didn't see it because I'm pointing at you.
They saw it.
Well, that's a good point.
It's so good. Do it over time. Oh my God.
By the way, Haley can't wink. So I think she's kind of like, she's like, wow, that's a real talent you got there. You're a lot better at it, by the way.
I've gotten.
I'm dead serious because when we were dating, you couldn't blink.
It's like Honor. Our daughter, our youngest, is 4, and she really thinks when she winks with both eyes that she's like doing stuff. So she's like, "Mom, I just hold it," and you're like, "Wow, wow, Honor."
Honor, you are special.
Oh, it's so funny. And then all the other kids are in on it too. So they're like, Mom, have you seen what Honor can do? It's so funny. She really thinks it's something.
Oh, man.
The other thing I love, this is one of my favorite forms of just like quick physical touch connection, is a hand on the thigh. If we're like driving the car or sitting at church, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I was actually thinking.
Holding hands is great. Arm around the shoulders is great. But something about the hand on the thigh is so like intimate, and nobody else can do that with you. It's like, oh, love that.
The hand on the thigh.
Hand on the thigh.
That's a quick win for me right now. I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, Haley likes that.
I do. I like the wink.
Holding hands is a good one. I mean, that one's like just a practical one that you can do almost everywhere.
And you should do
walking, car, church. Actually, that's one thing that I do at church. I look around to see like how many couples are actually holding hands.
How many?
Very, very, very few.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Very few. Yeah. They normally just sit next to each other like this, and they just kind of like do their normal thing, which is fine. But it's a quick win. Like, you get those quick wins.
Yeah.
They stack up. One that I have here that, it might be unconventional, but this is like a daily thing that I think is just so practical, is just give grace to your partner. Like in a lot of ways, they're doing the best they can with what they have in that moment. And sometimes you can let things kind of get out of hand. It's like, I want to pick at this, pick at that, pick at that. But like that small act of just grace in that moment for your spouse to maybe have a different thought than maybe you were going to have before, I think that's a big win throughout the day.
I like that one.
Yeah. And I think about that a lot, actually.
And that's one that like, how much over time accumulates to something huge.
Well, that goes along with this podcast. I mean, it's quick wins, but if you think about marriage, it's built on quick wins. It's built on just small,
on a little away vacation.
Everybody's like, well, give me the secret. It's like, well, dude, there's no real secret. It's like these quick wins, these small wins that you can stack, and it's all of a sudden you got this huge mountain, But I think grace is a cool win.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I always tell our kids. Right? Do you know what I'm going to say? Life's about
choices.
Life's about choices, and you make the choices, and you got to live with the choices. And so you can make the choice to not invest in your marriage and have a rough go, or you can make the choice to do these little quick wins and then reap the benefit of that too. But life's about choices.
Yeah. Well, to go along with that, not to get off track, but obviously Riker, our older, we want him to start thinking more positively, which is a very big win throughout the day, by the way, is just thinking more positively. He doesn't naturally have that ability. So we're like, hey, we got to get him the power of positive thinking to start thinking like that. Mm-hmm. But as I'm thinking of quick wins, I mean, that's another big quick win is just, can you think a little bit more positive throughout the day? And that would, I think, produce a lot of fruit in your life with your spouse, with your relationships. And it's something that you and I think about and discuss all the time, by the way, is getting rid of negativity and negativity thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. What else you got?
Okay, so this is one of my favorite things that you do too.
Yeah, buddy.
And again, apparently I was in a sexy mood this morning because this is another one I find very sexy. But if I'm like washing the dishes or something and you come up behind me and like kiss my neck, it gets me.
That one gets you, huh?
That one gets me. Or like I'll
chills.
Yes. But I'll try to do it to you too. Like if you're sitting at your chair in the office or if you're sitting at the dining table, obviously if you're standing, I can't reach your neck. But if you're sitting, I try to come up behind you and hug you from behind, kiss your neck, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a
good
big
little
one.
Intimate, quick.
That was a quick reconnect. The one thing that you're good at that I'm actually not very good at, but you do it every now and then is text messages. And so those are really big for me. I love getting those text messages. It's like it's like, oh, hey, I just think you're awesome. You're doing such a great job. You work so hard. You're such a great man. You're a provider. And then I'll get the text and instantly my mood's better. I'm feeling better about myself. I'm like, man, my beard must be longer right now. And it's just like a big win.
Yeah. Well, I think as wives, we can really underestimate how much our husbands need to just hear that we're proud of them. I think they just need to hear that.
Yeah.
And so any quick little.
And so does the wife, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have the most, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't really get that much praise ever.
Right, you don't.
Ever.
That's true.
Never, actually, is the word.
No, you're told you're the worst most of
You're
the time.
told you're
If
the
you're
worst.
doing a good job, you're being told you're the worst.
Harbor comes up today. Haley's getting ready. So we're about to go to this whole thing where you're wearing a two-piece bathing suit. You're telling the story.
Okay.
It's a great one.
I have not worn a two-piece bathing suit in public since our third child was born, probably.
And you look so good. I mean, you're in super shape too.
And so today we're getting ready to go. And I'm like, it's probably not going to be very busy. I don't know. It's a spa. I'm assuming it's mostly women. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wear my two-piece bathing suit. So I put it on and I put on a little dress cover up. And my daughter, 6-year-old, walks in. Mom, are you pregnant? Are you kidding me? Literally, I just had this mental conversation with myself about wearing a two-piece. I've been working hard in the gym. I'm going to wear it.
Oh, man, that was just epic.
Not nice.
Oh, when I heard that, I was like, dude, that is so funny.
Another one that you're really good at, actually, you do this all the time, is just the quick butt slap.
I'm an expert at that.
You are an expert at that. So, yes.
Yes.
So much so that our boys have started doing it, and I tell them all the time, Dad's the only one allowed to touch my butt. One day when you have a wife, you can touch hers, but leave mine alone. But I love it.
Yeah, leave mine alone. I do love smacking your butt, that's for sure.
Butt slap.
I love the quick butt slaps. I would say, as I'm looking at our list, now I think every couple might have their thing. But I think our thing for a lot of our quick wins is physical intimacy in some way.
A lot of it is.
It's like kisses, hugs, just sitting on my lap, like just rubbing my back. That's another thing that you do a lot is you rub my back. I like that little action. That's a big win for me. But I think every couple can find their thing.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the physical touch thing. I think that's our thing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I have a few on here that are not physical, but you're right. Most of them are.
Yeah. And we also get, like our, nephews and nieces are always like, Uncle Rich and Haley are always kissing. And
yeah, they know we're the PDA ones, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we're the PDA couple. But, another thing that I'm thinking about too is life gets so hectic, and none of these, like, I guess the reason why I say that is because they're not special things.
Right.
These are not special, but done consistently, they kind of become special, I think is kind of the.
Well, and because they're so little and simple and everyday, like they weave together to make like the fabric of your relationship.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems like such a little thing, but you have all these things woven together and they're done so consistently, it becomes the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I think of you, I'm like, well, Haley is made up of all the things that she does every day, with you have the cleaning, the kissing, the touching, the hugging, the text, the this. It's like, that is who Haley, that's you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm just reminiscing on that.
Yeah. Well, we talked earlier about the importance of like a hug and a kiss, but even more specifically than that, I think making a point to hug and kiss your wife hello and goodbye. So if you're leaving for the day, stop and hug your wife. When you get home, especially as a wife, because I'm home all the time and I hear you walk in the door, I have to stop what I'm doing, walk to the front door and say hi, which I don't do all the time, but I should. But I think that's a really important thing. Just that little welcome, that little goodbye.
And actually what you do is before I'm leaving, if I'm walking out the door, you go, eh.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll try to leave without kissing me.
I know.
I'll let you do that.
I do, and you don't let me do that. That's another quick win. We're just stacking them up.
We're stacking them up.
Just stacking.
Okay, so this is one that we used to do that we don't do anymore. That we probably should. So when we first got married, I got a pretty picture frame, and I put a pretty piece of craft paper in the frame, like in the glass, and then I got a dry erase marker. And every night before bed, I would write something on the glass for you to wake up to, and then you would erase it and you'd write something for me to wake up to in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was just a quick like, hey, I think you're wonderful. Or it's just like a quick little one sentence thing, which is a way to kind of connect. If we don't do that anymore, I still have the picture frame hanging in our bathroom, but we don't write in it.
We don't do
anymore.
It. We stole that from your parents.
Okay. And so my parents did that as long as I could remember. They had a little, it was called a boogie board. It was one of those like LED.
Before text messaging.
It was not before type of thing, but they used to do that every morning and every night. And then
they were religious about it.
They were.
Yeah.
So then.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
We don't do that anymore. And then when you were working like far away and having to leave early and you had a big commute or whatever, you used to have those little index cards that you would leave me like by the coffee pot. Do you remember this? I still have a box of all of them.
Oh, do I really? Oh, I do remember. Yeah, I'd wake up and I'd write you an index card.
And so I saved them in a like 3x5 card box.
Yeah.
And I have them all in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, too, I think what happened is we got a little bit spoiled with our schedule.
Yeah, because we're together.
We're together a lot. But, back then we weren't. So I think that was my way of just like connecting and knowing that I was leaving every day at 5 a.m. and I wasn't going to see you until 6 p.m. So
yeah. So that little picture frame on the wall where you just write on the glass with the dry erase, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And then one of my other favorite things, and this is just kind of a silly one, but I remember doing this with the kids in the summer. We would fill up buckets with water balloons and wait outside. And then when Rich got home from work or from wherever he was, we would ambush him with water balloons, and then we'd have a bucket for him so he could get us too. And it was just super fun.
That was so fun.
The kids loved it.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's it's so important that you like sit down and talk and have intimacy with your spouse, but it's also really important to just have fun and laugh.
It is.
It's really important. So just those silly things, or like get a Nerf gun.
The humor.
Okay, here's another good one. Get a Nerf gun and like leave it by the front door with a little note that says, hey, like you're walking into a war or whatever, and you hide, and then when he walks in, just start shooting.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Just fun things that are like lighten the mood a little bit.
Lightens the mood. So true.
And then I had the gratitude text that you already said. Okay, so noticing things and thanking them. So even little things like, oh, hey, thanks for taking the trash out. Like I saw you took the trash out, whatever. Thanks for picking up the kids' shoes. Just like
little bits of recognition.
Little everyday things that like, sure, it's their responsibility and they should do it, but you should still thank them.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to thank them.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, because you're thinking it. Why not say it?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, this is my last one on my list. And you're really good at this one too.
What is it?
But build them up in front of the kids. And so you're always like, isn't mama hot or whatever? You say all kinds of ridiculous things and the kids roll their eyes. I'm like, yeah, well, that's gross. But like, or I try, like, I think our kids really think that you can like pick up a car and move it, because I just like,
I think they're on the fence. They're like,
the boys might be on the fence now.
I think dad might be able to, but I'm not sure.
The girls 100% still think you could.
Oh, the girls for sure. But anything. I could probably lift the house and throw it to the moon.
Yeah, that's what they think. But that, I think part of that is because you're their dad and that's just how they see you. But the other part is like, I talk about you to them like you could do anything.
There's no limits.
There's no limits to what dad can do.
Dad's Superman.
And I think it's important to talk about your spouse that way with your kids.
Praise in public.
Praise it.
Criticize in public.
And criticize minimally. You don't need to criticize everything.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, the one that I was thinking about right now is for men especially, and you brought it up, but is telling your wife how good she looks on a constant, regular basis. Mm-hmm. And that's something I'm very conscious about, because I'm always thinking it, but thinking it and saying it is two different things.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so important.
I agree.
Because I mean, most of the time you just look super hot. So I just have to say, oh, mom's just looking hot today. And then you get a little smirk. You're like, okay, whatever. And then the kids are just, everybody's like, okay, whatever,
But everyone else secretly
But what's so funny is what Armor will say. He's like, Dad, you say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, you always say that, Dad. It was kind of cool the other day, actually. I told Armor, I was like, hey, Armor, I love you. He's like, Dad, you tell me that all the time.
That's good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's good. I'm glad.
My job.
Yeah, I'm glad. They don't ever say it back to me, which is the crazy part. But I'm like, Armor,
you got anything to say?
Usually no.
Usually no.
But no, that's.
I don't know if all boys are that way, but our boys are very.
They will not say I love you back. I don't know what's up.
And
at least to me, maybe to you they do.
No, they don't really. And Armor's the snuggler. He's one that like will snuggle or just come up and give you a hug or whatever. But even Riker, it's hard to get a hug out of him anymore.
I know. He just like looks at you like you're a freaking alien.
Yeah. Or they do that Michael Jordan thing.
Oh, Michael Jordan. Denied.
Exactly.
Well, how many was that? I mean, that was quite a few, huh?
That was my whole list. Did you have any more on your list that I didn't hit?
I mean, dude, I have Oh, I think here's a quick one: is making eye contact in the day, like this. I think that alone is just There's something when you make eye contact with your spouse, because throughout the day you normally don't.
Yeah.
But there's times where you do, and it's just like, oh, we just made that little contact, a little connection, and it.
Especially in like public places, like if we're at dinner with your family or whatever, and we just have this kind of moment.
Yes. Yeah. And we smile at each other and we make eye contact. Actually, that happens a lot.
It does. It's
yeah,
good.
I think that's a quick win. And then what else do I have here? When we're out and about, just you and I tend to do this, but it's just kind of having fun and messing around with people.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It's something that we can laugh over.
Yeah.
You know, I just tend to not take people so seriously.
Oh my gosh. I remember this one time.
I try to get them to like do reactions, but they rarely ever do.
Unless it's like the old Asian lady at the nail salon. She loves you. But there was this one time the boys were with us and they still think this was the funniest thing ever. We were at drive-through window. I don't remember where. And you went up to the window and you were like,
do you speak Spanish?
Do you speak Spanish or something or whatever? And then they were like, oh, yeah, let me, whatever. And they started speaking in Spanish and then you started just speaking in English. And the boys found it hysterical. I was super embarrassed, but it was funny.
Or maybe I said habla español.
Something. I don't remember exactly.
And the guy's like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I started speaking English. Yeah, they did love that.
And so now they ask you to do that every time we go to a drive-thru.
They do. Every time.
So silly. And then, of course, there's the things that we talk about all the time, right? Having coffee in the morning, having tea at night, turn off the radio and the podcast in the car and just talk to each other.
Yeah.
Try to listen to the same books as each other so you have something to talk about. You know, those are just...
Yeah, those are just the maybe more obvious
ones. Things that we talk about all the time. But
yeah. Phones can be a big distraction. Mm-hmm. And we're guilty of that too, honestly. I mean, I'm hiding my phone with work. You love watching silly goose things on your phone. But I mean, that could be a huge win too, just getting rid of phones.
Yeah,
because when the phones are not there, what happens? You have to like communicate.
Yeah, and obviously getting rid of phones is maybe not practical, but having like, you know, maybe a set time frame.
Well, at night it is.
Where, yeah.
Yeah, at night. It's like when you're going to go to bed, like you could literally just say, hey, we're going to keep phones outside the room. We don't do this personally.
Yeah.
But
I know like Charlie Kirk, you know, like obviously he's tied to his phone. He's a very busy man, but he keeps the Sabbath religiously. Where like from Saturday night till Monday morning, the phone is off. Like he says, if there's an emergency, somebody can get a hold of my wife, but like you cannot get a hold of him for a whole day every week. And he's like religious about it.
Dang, that sounds great.
It does sound great. We should try that.
Sounds like freedom.
Yeah, but that was fun. Any other commentary before we finish this thing up?
No, I mean, I think, how'd you wrap it up?
See, I think this one was good because I think it was super practical and things that you can literally take today and just
implement one of
them, and then try another one, and then just see what sticks, what happens.
Mm-hmm. I'd be curious to see what other people's quick wins are.
Yeah.
How can we get some feedback on this? I'm trying to figure this out.
I don't know.
Is it like
comments or
on comments or social media or something? I would love to hear what quick wins people do.
Yeah.
Because then we can steal some of those.
Yeah, share your quick wins with us.
We want to hear the quick wins. Give us the juice.
Okay. And so our Instagram that is affiliated with this podcast is called Feminine on Fire. That's where you can find all of our podcast stuff and a little bit about our life and stuff there too. And I think we're done.
Think so.
Love you.
Love you.